What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Today's video, I got the Maxx back out on the bench and I need to replace the spur gear that I broke in my last little session I had. So what I got here is a metal upgrade, part number 6448R. This is a 50-tooth pinion. This is actually the spur gear, rather. This is actually the same one that goes on the X Maxx. Not sure if these ones are heat treated, but it's definitely going to be better than the plastic. But I don't know why they didn't go with this gear on the sledge, because I ate that one up too. So hopefully we don't eat up a metal spur gear. I'm not sure what Traxxas is doing with their gears, but not very expensive, so I went ahead, I picked it up, so hopefully this doesn't happen again. So in this video, I'm just going to show you guys how to do this install. It's super simple, but I just figured while I had the truck out on the bench, I'd go over it and share a couple of things with you guys. So let's just get into tearing this thing apart. Alright, so to get this out, it's real simple. You're going to need a 2.5 millimeter, and you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, plus 5 screws, and then you need to take out number 6, which is this one here on the motor mount. So you'll take those out, and then this whole little cover piece just pops right out. So do what you want with the screws and how you want to retain them there. I'm just going to put it off to the side, and then once you get that out, you can see your gears, and you just pull it right out. Just got to be careful because you do have some bearings. So you got bearing on either side, and then this other gear here you're going to want to pull out and be real careful because you got a little pinny pin right in there. So you'll want to save that pin and not lose it. So I like to use this magnet tray here, and it just kind of will store everything. So this is what you got, this piece here, and then there is a bunch of bolts on here, but the ones that you're gonna want are the button head screws. So those look like they are only a 2 millimeter. Yes. So you'll go ahead and loosen all of those up, and you should be able to get the gear off this little piece that it's mounted on here. So let's get that off. And if you feel like it, you can always use some power, but you just want to be careful when you're using the power. So don't go too fast, generate any heat if it's plastic. That's usually my rule. So I will take all those screws out, and then that enables you to take your spur gear off. So you'll want to pay attention to how it slides on and off there, so that way when you go to mount up the new one, you know what way it goes on. So let's see, that's what that looks like. So you can see it's recessed in here. This is down, so that way it pushes in there. So you just want to pay attention. So I'm going to leave that right there and that right there. I am going to clean it all up while I have it out of the car. When you do little fix jobs like this and whatnot, it's always a good time. You can do your maintenance, clean stuff up, because you'd be surprised what some of the grease can attract for dirt. I can see the inside of my box there is really dirty, and I'm going to have to give it a thorough cleaning before we do this. So I got that all cleaned. I'll just pop this gear on out. Ow, stab myself with the staple in the back. Just going to go like this. I don't have any scissors. And we'll get this sucker out and look at it real quick. There you have it. So it's listed on there, 52, so we know that's good. And it has the pitch. These are Mod 1 gears. Anything pretty modern in the bashing world is going to use a Mod 1 gear. So that is nice. It's marked on there clearly. And you can see, again, I got the indentation there, and that correlates with how it goes back on. So that's super simple, just, you know, just like kindergarten. Just gotta line up the shape and get it on there, and apparently I did not pass kindergarten because I can't get it on. I think it just fits pretty dang tight. So there are my holes. I'll line those up. There we go. So you just have to use your thumbs, press that sucker in there. And then you just reinstall your 3 button heads. So I'm just going to hand tighten these a little bit before I start using the drill. That's kind of what I recommend. Always get those threads started so you don't cross thread anything. And then you'll be buying more parts. So it's always good to make sure you don't do that, because you don't want to buy more parts, because you're going to be buying more parts anyway, but you want to make sure you're buying parts that you need. If you break something bashing, I'm not sure if you can see, but on my drill I am using the chuck at a 4. I wish it went down a little bit more. 4 is a little too much, so I never really go too tight. I'll go by hand after, but at least I know on bigger stuff I'm not overdoing it. See, I just got it on 4 there. 4 is usually pretty good on the hand tight scale. Yeah, so I can't really go too much more. So. All right, so that's good. Then we can put our little pin back in. Slide on this gear here. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit, a little dirty. And I'm just going to spin it till it slides on. Perfect. Wipe the bearing off a little bit too before I put that bad boy back on. Put my bearing on there. Bearing on there. Boom. Spur gear assembly ready to slide back in. But before I do that, this box is so dirty and it is not good. Don't know how well you can see that in there without the light, but that thing is gummed up. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time and clean that all out before I put this assembly back together. Alrighty, I got that cleaned out as good as I am going to get it. So now we can slide our little piece back together, and you can hear the mesh because this has got that set mesh, so you don't, and when you're doing this you don't have to redo any of that. I did want to go to a bigger pinion gear. I definitely think the truck can handle it now that I got a good fan on the ESC and this nice Castle motor. I'm actually even thinking about upgrading to this Mamba X, but to be honest with you, I think this thing is messed up. I couldn't get it to work right. I reprogrammed the ESC a few times and I could only get it to work with forward and brake. I couldn't get reverse. The only way it would work with reverse was instant reverse, and that was no bueno. This thing's pretty old. You can see I've had to do some wiring jobs on it. I had a double connector, but I could just solder this on, throw it in, and see how it works. But I don't know. I think I might retire that one. I'm not sure, but that's something I might do in the future. But yeah, that's a real simple deal. You could do this in the field if you had to. I really like that. This truck is a breeze to work on so far. Every time I have something to fix. So it's always nice when you can just, you know, get things apart and get it fixed quick. You don't have to tear down like a bunch of things just to get to one thing. That's the worst part in RC sometimes, is fixing something and then, you know, you got to take 20 different things off just to get to one little thing. So that is nice. This truck, relatively so far, easy to work on. This thing's been a little ripper. That's the first major break on it that I have had is with this spur gear. So the only other thing to break is the C-hub and a tie rod. And that was only $6, and then I did go ahead and upgrade the tie rods, but those are pretty cheap too, so. Okay, got those in there. Just double check them now with my hand. Feels good. Again, that's into plastic, so you don't want to go too tight. Alrighty, and that's it. The Maxx is back in action. Here is the chewed up spur gear. You can kind of see on this outside part where the gear didn't get it, but just rounded right off every gear. So it just must have just mashed in there and just took it all out. But you know, plastic spur gears are good for that reason, because that will go before the other gears, I guess. But I've never really had that issue. As long as you're not landing on power super hard, the metal gears will be okay. You won't break anything else. But that's kind of a lot of times what happens is, you know, you land on power and all that force, and boom, you just eat a gear up. It can happen. That happens to the best of us, but that's it. All fixed, super easy. Hope you enjoyed that little tidbit there. If you've got any questions on how to do this, let me know down in the comments. It is really simple, and if you are bashing this rig hard, you're going to have to do it eventually. So hopefully this showed you how to achieve that, and nothing major to worry about there after seeing it. So yeah, really do appreciate you guys watching. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget, hit the like button, leave me a comment down below, and please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more RC how-tos like this. Thanks for watching. Peace.